It's Belinda. In this video, I have Tessa Marie from the Tessa Marie Show. She's going to talk about 2 ways that you can save money when you start a new job. Hey, Tessa Marie, thank you for coming today.
Hello, Belinda. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I'm looking forward to our conversation, and let's get this thing going.
Yes, excellent. So we have a lot of people who are out here who are starting new jobs, and they've been unemployed for a long time. So they are thinking to themselves, how can I save money? I need all of my money because I've been unemployed for so long. But there is a way to save money when you start a new job, and I need you to tell them how they can do that.
Well, Belinda, there are several ways you can start saving money when you get a new job, especially when you start a new job after you've been out of a job for a long time and you realize how much every penny you receive or every penny that you have counts. Some people, though, are very resistant to saving money at all or to losing any money from their paycheck. They think they need to have every penny from that paycheck in order to spend. But the reason why they got in this situation in the first place is because their savings wasn't large enough. It wasn't big enough. Their emergency wasn't big enough. So I have always told people you need to save. Savings doesn't have to be as big as rent or your mortgage or all the other bill payments you have, but it should be the first thing you think of when you get a new job. Now, the one that you will perhaps get the opportunity to get if you're fortunate to get into a mid-sized or large corporation. These companies, when you do get a job there, they will sit with you in the human resources and they'll talk about the company and they'll say, we also have profit sharing. They use profit sharing as an incentive to get you to be an employee of theirs. That's the carrot they're offering. We are such a good company. For every dollar you put, we'll add 25 cents. Mm-hmm. That is a huge incentive. That means every time you invest $1, you immediately make 0.25%, 25 cents already on that dollar without it starting to work. Now, once that $1.25 is invested on your behalf in the company, you now start making real money. Mm-hmm. So that is an opportunity. If you're given that opportunity, jump on it, because it's not often offered in this economy too much, but it still exists.
Right.
So make sure you take the chance to do that. Now, the other way of saving is talking to your bank or to your credit union or doing it yourself online and decide to do an automatic payment of savings into a savings account. You must do it automatically. We are not trustworthy to honor the promises we make to ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's why the government has your employer takes the income tax from you. The government already knows us. And they said, these people are not even paying themselves. Why would they pay me?
Right.
So therefore, they tell the employer, take the money from their paycheck and send it to us. Mm-hmm. So you, in turn, switch it around. You go to your bank and say, take $20 every payday and put it in a savings account. Mm-hmm. Now, do not look at me and say, well, lady, what will $20 do? I am sitting here in front of you today, and I can tell you, my first savings amount was $1.75 every week.
Wow.
From that, we grew it and pampered it and add little bits and little bit to it until we came to the point where we were saving $80 every week, and we were able to buy this house we're sitting in today. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the smallest amount of savings you can do does not matter. What matters is the consistency, the regularity. So that means you get them to do it for you every payday. Take $20 and put it aside. Mm-hmm. Don't make it into $500. Don't make it into $200, because if it is too much and you need it for other expenses, mm-hmm. then all you're going to do is to take it out, and that will frustrate you and make you feel terrible that you cannot save.
Right.
The best thing about saving is to start small and grow, just like a plant. A tiny little plant becomes a big head of lettuce. So this is what you have to do. So this is the two most common ways. The other one, sometimes you can save through a 401k, and that is, of course, for your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You can often, the data again is automatically taken by your employer in some cases. They add to it. And what you put in, they will give you an option. There is the limit, there is a scale.
Mm-hmm.
They stop at a certain level, but that's another way to save. The biggest and most important savings you should have is what we call an emergency plan. That is the emergency savings to take care of the flat tire, to take care of the suddenly the brakes is not working.
Right.
Suddenly you're off for a week and you still have expenses. Or if you own a home, the furnace just broke down. You must have that. And the minimum amount needs to grow, and that's why I'm using the word grow.
Mm-hmm.
The minimum amount you should have grown into an emergency account, grown like this from nothing to something, is a minimum of $2,000.
Okay.
Most emergencies are simply $2,000 in a family.
Right.
They're not much more than that. So if you have that sitting in an account, you can take care of this emergency, this sudden thing you didn't expect. And that way, you will not go back into debt using a credit card.
Okay.
So these are the few ways I know for sure you can make an impact in your life and have a savings account.
Excellent. I have a bonus question for you in that same line. So I've been on the job a while now and I've gotten a raise. Do I take my raise amount money and save that and keep living like before I got the raise, or take half of that? What would be your suggestion for that?
Well, Belinda, I'm not going to say that's a great question, because when I hear people say that's a great question, I know that's because they don't have the answer. But I have the answer for your question.
Excellent.
It's the question that I was hoping somebody would ask me. And I'm glad that you brought it up. That question is, Belinda, what I did to end up having money to have the down payment. What we did was, the raises, as you know, are not big.
Mm-hmm.
And it was even smaller back then. Mm-hmm. My husband got 25 cents an hour. So that 25 cents an hour, when he got that raise, if it made 22 cents on every hour, and he works a 40-hour week, that amount we took, we made sure we went back to the credit union at the time or the bank and had them save that $8.50, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. We pretended we didn't have it 2 weeks ago, therefore we don't have it. And we lived on what we had. Mm-hmm. When I got my $3.50 raise every 6 months, I literally went down to the credit union of the government building where I worked. It was the employees' credit union. I had my lunch because I always brought my lunch. I sat there in front of the woman, chomping on my sandwich, drinking my soup, while she filled out the form to take my $3.50, whatever was left after taxes. And we did that every year for 7 years. We were able to buy a house and have a baby in that time and paid for everything. Mm-hmm. We had the down payment and everything. Okay. And at that time, it had grown to $80 every 2 weeks, mm-hmm, from $1.75. And that growth came from the raises, the tiny raises. So some people, when I say this, when I teach that, when I often offer that advice, they look at me and say, well, miss, that's really no money at all. That's no savings at all. But the only answer I can give you to that, you know that account that your check goes into? I call it a sieve. I call it a colander. It has holes. Mm-hmm. You put money in there and you might as well just pour water because it's just going to run away into the drain.
Right.
This is why I coined the phrase that money has to be harnessed. Money must be placed in a harness and controlled. Otherwise, you will left either all through your life or at the end of your retirement still going to work at Walmart and standing at the door and trying to greet people when you really should be at home resting your legs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So your recommendation, because I think some people would say, well, I've earned that raise. Should I put the whole raise in? I can't celebrate some of it. What would be your recommendation for that?
My answer to that, Belinda, is live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else later on.
Yes.
You can celebrate later. Celebrate when you have your house. Celebrate when you have a nice home that you want. Celebrate when you have a decent car to drive. Celebrate when you can invite your friends over and have a barbecue that costs you $40 and you can, because you saved and you have a place, you're not going to spend much money. Celebrate when you can afford it. We lived like no one else. Mm-hmm. My husband and I, we lived like no one else. When my friends were having tons of fun, we didn't. Mm-hmm. But now, those very same friends are looking at us and saying to me, you guys are so lucky. Mm-hmm. You have such a good retirement. You can do what you want. You travel all over the world. You can look at my Instagram and Facebook. We travel a lot. Mm-hmm. But when we were young and the children were young, we made some choices. I don't call them sacrifices. Mm-hmm. We lived like no one else did at the time, so we could live like no one else right now. And that's the choice we make every day.
You heard it here first from Tessa Marie at the Tessa Marie Show. You can find Tessa Marie every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. in the morning with her Tessa Marie blessings, with her morning blessings. And you can find her every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in the afternoon at 7 p.m. at the Tessa Marie Show. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Tessa Marie. We appreciate the knowledge that you gave us. And we'll see y'all at the next video.